chosen. I've been waiting here for you since the beginning of this universe. You know the world is fading. There's a secret power hidden in your soul. Don't be afraid to use it, 'cause you're the one. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one. 'Cause you're the one. You're the one. You're the one. You're the chosen one. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one. You're the chosen one. Greetings, chosen. I've been waiting here for you since the beginning of this universe. You know the world is fading. There's a secret power hidden in your soul. Don't be afraid to use it. There are voices in your head saying that you're a failure. You're not good enough, but you know that's not true. There is a secret power hidden in your soul. Don't be afraid to use it, 'cause you're the one. You're the one. You're the one.
So, only two things I can say for sure about this show that you're about to watch. Number one, the initials of the title spell CIA. So, take that for what you will. Okay. Let's leave that one alone. And number two, the energy of the masculine and the feminine are way out of balance. So, with that said, let me bring in everybody. Please remember to unmute yourselves. Welcome to Conversations in Anarchy. How is everyone?
Hey, we're good.
Awesome. All right. So, with us, why don't we just kind of go around clockwise, starting with Lily. Introduce yourselves. And then
I'm
let's...
Lily. Go ahead.
Perfect.
I thought you were done.
Perfect.
That's really all that needs to be said about me. People know me.
Ariel?
I love that Lily's crocheting. I'm Ariel. Hi, everyone.
Oh, God.
Catherine, it's all you.
Hey, guys. I'm Catherine. And I'm Macy.
And
we all work for
Josie.
Anarchapulco. And this
Okay.
is Josie.
Hey, Josie, the star of the show right there. That's it. So, Catherine, can you introduce the show? Like, what is this show that we're trying to do here? What's the history? What are we doing here?
Sure, absolutely. So Conversations in Anarchy is a show we did a couple years ago for Anarchapulco. We did it once a week. It was a lot of work. Honestly, it was hard. But everybody loved it. And we've been receiving emails for a year and a half saying, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And quite frankly, last year, we didn't have a venue at this time. We didn't really have a team totally put together at this time. We didn't even know for sure the event was going to happen. So doing something fun like this to really interact with the audience was just impossible. So backed by popular demand, Conversations in Anarchy is a way for y'all to talk to us and us to talk to you, to get to know our speakers, to get to know the event, and to really start having a dialogue now so that when we show up and see each other in person, we can really build upon a foundation of companionship.
So this show is linked with Anarchapulco, right? Like
Yes.
what the relationship is that you bring on guests that are going to speak at Anarchapulco, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of cool stuff related to the event too, right?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk about the event, especially today. And in the future, we're going to bring on experts in their field, activists, doctors, people to help give us information about how to immigrate to Mexico. We've already got emails. We sent out an email announcing the show. People have already started asking for that information. So we're really bring the conversation here and have it about things that we're going to be talking about at Anarchapulco as well.
Okay, so let's there's probably plenty of people watching right now that have not seen the show previously. We are releasing it, I guess we're live streaming it to Anarcast, but then it's you guys, we have our own YouTube channel for this show, so all the recordings are going to go there after the stream is over, right?
Yep.
And so it's possible that a lot of my audience or the audience on this channel hasn't seen Conversations in Anarchy yet. So let's just kind of try that again. Let's introduce ourselves. Talk about, how you how you got involved with Anarchapulco, how you became an anarchist. Let's just kind of like do little intros. What is that a good idea? What do you guys think?
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Macy.
Oh, okay. So I guess I became an anarchist when I watched Zeitgeist when I was 20 years old. I was a Hooters girl, and it flipped my world upside down. And so then I went on to this path of like learning more about how there's massive government corruption, became involved in the libertarian movement in 2014. And I actually got my passport in 2015 or 2014 to come to the first Anarchapulco, which I was really excited about. It was before I knew about Jeff Berwick. Didn't really know anybody in the liberty movement at that point, but was really excited for Anarchapulco and ended up not going until 2016. And now that I'm looking back at that, I should have just gone. And I've been involved since 2016. I've spoken on the main stage multiple times, took a break from 2019 to 2020. And then actually a year ago today, Kat asked me to join the team for Anarchapulco 2020. And so I've been working for Anarchapulco for a year and I love it.
We love you.
Okay, just to change up the order, Lily, why don't you go next?
All right. My parents were agorists, but there wasn't a word for it. But like, mom especially was dabbling in things that were like illegal, but not necessarily having a victim. She was on the run most of my childhood. I got involved in politics in college, realized politics was shit, dropped out of college, started living agorism, ended up in jail. And then I ended up in Mexico because I didn't want to stay in jail and go to prison. So the goal was to get here by Anarchapulco 2016, and we made it like 4 days before it started. And that was where, the true adventure began. I eventually ended up forking Anarchapulco to try and add, some more decentralization and things like that to it. And that all ended in a kind of tragic flurry, I'll say, with a murder in 2019 that was so famous and caught everybody off guard. 2020, I was invited to speak for the first time, and then 2021 I was working for Anarchapulco, and now we're part of the dream team with us four, and Patrick here.
Us four and Patrick. Yeah, okay. Catherine.
Complete us.
It's like the feminine energy dream team, and then we have dark and spooky Patrick.
Yes, black and white.
Patrick, who keeps us grounded.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, Patrick definitely keeps us grounded.
That is the purpose.
Ariel, how about you?
Okay. Well, I first became an anarchist a while ago, I guess, in my late teens. I protested the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, and that experience kind of demonstrated to me just how the state and large corporations work in cahoots and are pretty malevolent in their motivations. I was an ANCOM for a long time, an anarcho-communist, and then I became disillusioned with that ideology. around 2017. For a while, I kind of turned back to statism and tended to think that liberal democracy actually had a lot more going for it than we often give it credit for. But I've definitely become like more disillusioned with the current system since then. I started coming to Anarchapulco in 2019, and that year I mostly showed up and argued with a lot of people, which is pretty great because in a lot of the communities I'd been involved with in the past, there wasn't much tolerance for that at all. I thought it was like so amazing. I could just like show up to this community and like question all the tenets of their ideology and have people like actually engage and like not cancel me. So I definitely was super intrigued by the community after that. Every year I've come to Anarchapulco every year since then, and each time I've met like amazing people that I keep in touch with all year. So big fan.
Catherine?
Okay, I became an anarchist at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. I had just done the whole Ron Paul 2008 campaign, and I was really, really disillusioned by hierarchy. I realized that a lot of us had looked up to a leader for salvation, and we weren't looking within ourselves. And I was giving a rant on stage at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and it ended with, am I allowed to cuss, Patrick?
Yeah.
Okay, it ended with, I'm a motherfucking anarchist! And it like hit me, like while I was talking, like I'm an anarchist. I had never claimed that title before. And I'm not a big label person, but we are Anarchapulco, and philosophically we are voluntarists. And that was really when the journey began for me of figuring out like, okay, if I'm not going to follow a leader and depend on them to create freedom for me, what am I going to do to cultivate freedom in my life? And so that started a very different journey from the activism side of things that I was previously involved with. And I didn't go to Anarchapulco there were 2 years I didn't go because my kids, I didn't want to like put them in the system and get them passports, and I was really hesitant. And finally, in 2018, they were old enough, the older two kids, and they consented to passports. I said, okay, I'm going. And we came, stayed for 6 weeks. It changed my life. I left Mexico a completely different person. And then just every year got more and more involved, and here we are. I love it. It's my tribe, my people.
Awesome. I guess it's my turn. Let's see. So I'll start with the anarchy part. Probably about 10 years ago, I was starting to see some success, maybe longer than that now. Man, I'm getting old. I was starting to see some success in business, the businesses I was involved in and working on. I've always been entrepreneur minded. And as soon as I started seeing success, I started getting just like dinged constantly by the state, be it 50% of everything I earn being taken from me in taxes, or the police just constantly harassing me because I finally was able to afford my dream car. And it's like suddenly these people that I was taught my entire life were the heroes and the protectors were actually like, wait, what are these people doing? They're the single most violent aspect of my life. There's got to be something fundamentally wrong with the system. And so that started me on a journey to sort of figure out where this authority of theirs that I had been taught was so just my whole life, where did that come from? Spoiler, it doesn't come from anywhere. It's bullshit. So that was the journey I went on. Several years ago, I attended Anarchapulco. I spoke on one of the minor, I guess, side stages about how to build your own. I called it forging your own tribe of anarchists, because we had been pretty successful, wildly successful, I would say, in building one of the world's largest voluntarist anarcho-capitalist communities here in the Dallas, Texas area. And so I put all that knowledge together in a package and presented it to people. And I mean, the room was packed and they loved it. And since then, people that were in that class have contacted me over the years to tell me about the groups that they've created and how they're growing. And man, it's just, we're growing. These communities are growing. They're getting stronger, and they're backing each other up through this insanity that we're going through right now. Then I guess the next year, I had the honor of speaking on the main stage at Anarchapulco about peaceful parenting and principled parenting for my Peaceful Parenting University that I teach, I guess, courses for people. I help people understand how to implement our principles at home in your house with your children and how to raise self-owners without sort of stomping on everybody's individuality and property rights in the process of parenting, which is not always as straightforward as you might think if you were not raised with these principles already in mind. So that was my main stage talk. And then I guess 2 years ago now, I think I was involved, right? 2 years ago with the Anarchapulco production team, or was it just last year? I think it was just, I don't remember. Catherine, you can tell me.
It's like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so video production and streaming is one of my passions, and so I've been thrilled to sort of be a part of the live stream for the event. Last year, we had a great time. This year, it's going to be fun again. Also, the philosophy and the nerdy, the nerdy details of the principles that underlie sort of anarcho-capitalism, anarchism, libertarianism. I'm a big fan of debates, and so we tried to organize some debates last year. We're hopefully going to be doing that again this year. So yeah, I think I kind of jumped ahead in our timeline, but that was kind of like my history, how I got involved with Anarchapulco, and then kind of the next thing that I think we want to talk about is like, let's go over some of the things that we're most excited about for the event this year. Who wants to start?
I'll go.
All right.
What I am most excited about this year is seeing people overcome these extreme boundaries and obstacles that are being put in place by the state, right? We are watching people literally escape Australia, literally escape Canada. So to be able to provide a place for everyone to gather and embrace one another and celebrate the fact that they made it out and that they have a place where they are understood and seen and felt and welcomed, like that feels incredible. I think this is a really, really, really important year, and the timing is just incredible. And, we picked the name Unstoppable for our theme this year because that's what it feels like the powers that be are trying to do, right? They're like, at least in the United States, the food supply is being stopped in a lot of ways. There's a supply chain breakdown taking place. Travel's being stopped. Like our faces are being covered. Life as we know it, they're trying to literally stop that from happening. And we're not going to let it. We are unstoppable. And we are going to gather and we're going to celebrate and we're going to have fun and we're going to laugh and we're going to sing and it's going to be freaking awesome. That's what I'm excited about.
Ariel, what about you?
For me, mine might sound a little bit shallow after that, but for me, like the nightlife, probably. Like, there's always like, Anarchapulco always has like the best programming in the evenings, like parties, and like with everything happening in the world right now, it's definitely been like a lack of that the past couple of years, like just like events with like large numbers of people getting together and interacting. And like I mentioned before, like Anarchapulco always has the most interesting people. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Lily, what about you?
For me, it's the fact that Anarchapulco has been decentralizing these last 2 years. So we introduced the watch party system last year, allowing people to kind of throw their own thing and stream Anarchapulco as an official like satellite of Anarchapulco. And I'm excited to see what things we can happen this year with that.
Okay. All right. Macy.
I'm excited for everything. I'm excited for everything. One, it's really falling together right now. Like, especially this week, Kat has been with me here in Acapulco and things are just like falling into place. And I'm like really surprised at how many speakers want to come in person still with everything that's going on. It's like, it's a big hope. And we're also partnering up with all of these businesses. Well, one in particular, I don't know if I can talk about them right now. I'm going to just say it's a business that's like, it's really showing that the world is splitting in two right now. And we're on the cooler half. And we really are unstoppable. Like, we will find loopholes. Like, we'll figure it out. And I love that. I think it's like we have the people with the highest IQs on our side of history as well. So I think that we're going to work our way through what we're dealing with, the situation. We're going to bind together. And I'm also excited for the peyote ceremony and the mushroom ceremony and the bufo. And that's it.
Share. We've got a lot of people in the comments, guys. We are watching your comments. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat on Odyssey or YouTube. Sherry Voluntary over on Facebook says it's not shallow at all. Human group celebration is super important. You know what I didn't realize was so important before this whole thing was just how different it is not seeing people's faces. It's so dehumanizing to be walking through a sea of people with no faces. It's like this really weird, low-key toxic dynamic where you just can't, you feel disconnected from everybody around you. I'm glad I live in an area where that doesn't really happen much at all anymore. But what about you guys?
Yeah, well, I'm blessed to be in Texas. So, I have a similar experience to you, Patrick, in that regard. But it is quite eerie going through the airport and not seeing anyone's faces, especially after we were raised, at least for me, growing up in the Midwest. Someone with a covered face was supposed to be scary, right? If someone walked in with a mask into a gas station, that's supposed to be scary. So now having to completely shift your wiring around that, it's very surreal. And I'm really, really excited to see everybody smile.
Awesome. All right. Well, why don't we move on to the next thing? I think we wanted to actually get into announcing the speakers for the event. So, Macy, do you want to take that away?
Sure. So I haven't gotten the full agreements with everybody, but we can start with the MC. Do you want to start with the MC?
Yeah.
All right. So Ernie Hancock is going to be Anarchapulco's MC for Unstoppable 2022. We're really excited to have him down. He's kind of like the dad of the Liberty movement. So it's nice to have these people come back and we're all going to hug each other. And then we have Max Egan, and he's going to be in person, which is awesome. And we have, I should have wrote a list, Dr. Terry Tillert again. We have Dr. Ben Tapper. Talia Like It Is sounds like she wants to do at least a virtual talk. So we have a lot of people from Anarchovid. Who else do we have? Do you remember? We have Carrie Wedler. And we have
Justine.
Dean Ryan. Dean Ryan, if you don't know who he is, he runs a show called The Real Deal Media. And he usually does a lot of interviews with Mike Adams. And he's going to be doing, during our nightlife, a game night show called Apocalyptic Dating, which is going to be really fun. So it's like The Bachelor kind of with one, female, and she gets her choice of 3 males. And the questions are how well can you prepare for the end of the world? So that should be a fun game. And he's also going to be doing a fashion show as well. So we're really excited to have him. And are you pulling up the list of speakers?
I'm pulling up my working list, but I think yours is different.
I can read some comments while you pull that up, if that would help, if you need a little time.
Well, I'll say one thing and then
I'm
read
never
your
prepared
comments.
for this.
You guys, you're looking at some speakers right here. Some of the coolest, most badass speakers on the planet are right here on the screen. You've got Macy and myself and Lily and Ariel, and Patrick's going to be contributing. And of course, Jeff Berwick, the man who founded the whole thing, got it all happening, which is super exciting.
Kurt David Robinson.
Raphael from the Crypto Vigilante.
Piasa Neko Sef. Nico.
Piasa. And several of the shamanic practitioners are going to be presenting.
My husband, Benoit, is going to be a speaker. He runs the Bufo retreat, so he's going to be talking about Bufo and how that's really changed his life. He also spent 10 years in the Amazon jungle. That's where I met him, doing lots of ayahuasca. And then we have an amazing mushroom facilitator. So he's going to be bringing Oaxaca mushrooms in, and he's going to be talking about his experience with the mushrooms and the other medicines that he's worked with here in Mexico. And we have officially now Sean Stone.
Yeah, all right.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch more in the works. We've got about 10 speakers per day that we are programming, and really we are looking into practical skills that do help you to become and embody unstoppableness. So we are really trying to curate a week of resourceful information that will empower you to go home and really implement things or reinforce things that you're already doing, right? So that we can be embodied freedom in this unfree world.
Well, I'm kind of curious how we're going to sort of architect the event this year. So, a couple of years ago, we were having this large, like massive in-person event where everybody was in one hotel and it kind of brought everybody together in one place. And then, COVID hit and then it became decentralized and there were watch parties in various locations and it was mostly live streamed except for the people that, attended the watch parties. What's the plan this year?
So this year we're formatting it much like last year. We are at the same venue, which is this beautiful jungle location. It's an outdoor venue. We were able to negotiate a higher attendee limit this year. So of course, because of the scamdemic, pandemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it, right? They have capacity limits on their venues. And that's just what we're dealing with down here in Mexico. And this group is providing us a much larger capacity than next year. I would say double the event size is what we're able to do. In the past, we would have around 1,000 people. Some years it was 800, some it was 2,000, some it was 1,200, right? It kind of fluctuated, I think really based on Bitcoin's success in that current year. And ultimately, last year, we had 140 people. And it was awesome and it was intimate. And we had thousands of people across the globe who were gathering in similar intimate settings. So we're going to format it much like last year, but we are bringing back a lot of the things we loved about the years past. So last year was like bare bones, just what we could make happen in the 3 months after we decided to do the event. We even pushed it back into March for the first and only time because of COVID, right? And we put together an event that everybody loved. I mean, we did not have complaints. The tech side of things was difficult. We've hopefully resolved that. We've worked really hard on the website. So we're going to bring more people in and we're going to bring back some of the things that people really loved, like workshops. This year, we scouted the venue and we found 3 or 4 spots where we can hold workshops simultaneously. So now you get more of that in-depth one-on-one time with your speakers that you all loved. And it helps your speakers to fund the resources to fly there and back. Most of our speakers fly on their own dime, especially now that we have this smaller venue capacity. And we are essentially gambling, right? The whole world could get shut down. I don't think it will, but let's say it does, right? So the commitments that these speakers are making to come and to show up, we want to make sure that we are providing opportunities for all of us to support them with our resources, right? And so having this workshop component come back, I think is really, really important. And we will have the online version, just like last year. We'll live stream it. It'll go 24 hours a day so people on the other side of the world can catch what happened earlier in the day. And this decentralized watch party component, we hope, takes on a life of its own. Reach out to us if you want to host one in your community. You can do an unofficial one or you can partner with us officially. Just talk to us and let us know what you're looking to make happen. And we really think that no matter what is happening across the globe, no matter what, we're going to gather. We're going to gather online. We're going to gather in person. We're going to communicate. We're going to teach each other new skills and just really celebrate that we're surviving and thriving and making it through this, because I think there's a lot to celebrate right now.
Awesome. So let's see. Ecom Tomcat asks, when do tickets go on sale?
They're on sale now.
Well, there you go. There's your answer. Sherry says there's a lot of psychology about what people will do and accept from themselves behind masks. Talking about our earlier mask conversation. Yeah, absolutely. Alex Vidal in the chat says he can't wait for February.
Woo-hoo.
Is Alex involved yet? Do we know?
Yeah. So, we did survey the community about private flights. I can't make any formal announcements right now, but we are working very diligently to get you guys private jet flights from Florida, Texas, and California. There's a lot of requests from Canada, and that's something we'll have to talk about later. But
that would be a rescue mission.
That would be a rescue mission, essentially. So we are working on that, and my hope is that if we make this happen, and I believe we will, but don't get too excited yet. That's when the ink is dry. That's when we celebrate. But if we do, I think that Alex will probably be on that Florida flight as your liaison, and to make sure that all of your needs are met. And either way, Alex is always here. He's always involved. He's helping with the music, and he's helping to program Cryptopolco, our 5th day of the event, which is all things cryptocurrency.
So does each day have a theme like that?
Yes. I think one issue we ran into is that we have already filled one day with in-person speakers, and we're thinking about bleeding it over into the other day or forking it. So the themes are kind of shifting right now based on what we're programming into it. But essentially we're looking at philosophy, media, community, spirituality, health, cryptocurrency,
agorism.
Oh, yeah, and off-grid survivalism, this type of stuff, how to take ownership of your life.
Travis says, I think the website's showing tickets for August 2021, so that might be where the questions are coming from. I don't know. We might need to get somebody to take a look at that. Alex Vidal is ready to go.
That is probably the replay. Lily, do you want to clarify what the different tickets are on the website?
Okay, so they're sectioned. There's the first section is in person. I'll go and I'll look just to be 100%.
Decompiler says, "Oh my God, that's awesome! Private flights." And he also comments that, man, that baby is powered off. It looks so peaceful.
That's the most peaceful
Anarchy is the first ticket.
What did you click on here?
Anarchy is the first ticket.
Okay, so for my view of the website, the first tickets are the in-person tickets, which are the VIP access and then the launch party. Second is the retreats that we have, which is a women's retreat with Piazza, a couples retreat with Piazza, and a Bufo retreat. And then it's followed by the virtual live packages. There's 2 different. You can buy just virtual access during the event for $150, or you can buy virtual access plus get the lifetime replay when it's available after for $200. And then this is the Anarchy. This is where they would be seeing that.
Well, Lily, we just, at least on my phone, the homepage, if you scroll down the homepage and click buy now or something, it goes to the Anarchy ticket. But if you go into the menu and click tickets, it shows the full list. So thank you guys. You're helping us improve.
Thank you.
We're doing
I
the best
appreciate
we can. Thank you. Yeah. So we
the
found a glitch
homepage was
in the
not built
matrix.
the homepage was not built by me, but the ticket page was. That's why I was like, wait a minute, what? That makes sense though. I'll fix that.
Travis might be finding a few more issues. He's asking to put a link in the chat to the site that he should be looking at. Also, I think it would be good to tell everyone where they can go to talk with you guys. Probably on Telegram. You have a Telegram group or something like that, right?
We have multiple.
In today's email we sent out, and every email from now on, there will be a list of links for all of the Telegram groups that we have available. So, if you're subscribed to our email list, you got a list of all of these Telegram links today.
Just in case people watching aren't, can we maybe paste some of those in chat for them and get the info out a little bit more? And let's see what. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our to-do list for the intro show, and so while I guess the last thing that I have that we can probably talk about is what our plan is for this show. What guests we might have on, what kinds of things we're going to talk about. Catherine, I'll toss it to you for that. And then while you're talking about that, everybody watching, if you have any questions, please get them in chat. Now's your chance. Last call for questions. Catherine?
Yeah, so we really want to talk about what you want to talk about. And some ideas that we sent out on our email list today. But one thing I know that we were all feeling passionate about was abusive behaviors or narcissistic tendencies within our own movement and how to cope with that, because that is something that at least everyone here on the team has witnessed in all sorts of different groups as you're going through the process of waking up. How to get to Mexico and how to be able to stay, because right now they are starting to crack down. I got a 30-day visa coming in. In the past, you normally get 180 days. This is a new thing that they're doing. So if you're wanting to stay for 180 days, be prepared to plead your case to your customs or, entrance person at immigration. And maybe,
I want to be on that show.
Yeah, have some appointments scheduled, in the future, be able to justify it. So that's an issue. And a lot of our people are in Canada. We are a North American event. Most of our attendees come from the United States and Canada, our founders from Canada. We do have Europeans, we do have Australians, but we have a lot of Canadians, and they are fleeing right now. And that's why we created an Escaping Canada group on Telegram, which I assume got posted already in the chat. We want to be able to get together and talk and say, well, what do we do about this? What do we do about that? Where can we look for answers? We're not lawyers, we're not experts, but we can help you get together with each other so that you can figure out solutions and we can share what we know. We would love to talk about, what's going on with the health side of COVID stuff. Bring on some of our doctor speakers. There's all sorts of things that we could talk about, but really, we are really thriving on your feedback. So if you respond to the email that went out today, or you make a suggestion in the chat right now, make a comment on the video, we will definitely take that into consideration. So the things that are most important to you, that's what's most important to us right now. We're collectively, globally going through really weird stuff. And I think it's really important that we're able to talk to each other about it. I mean, does anyone want to add on to that regarding the show?
Okay, so let's see. Travis in the comments suggests a subject idea called Anarchy as a Vet. And I'm assuming he means veteran, not veterinarian. So that might be a good topic for the show. And whether or not we do a show for it, if you're a veteran and have questions or thoughts around that stuff, because my wife is a vet. She was deployed to Iraq. We have several vets in the Anarchast Discord server, and they talk often and openly about their experiences and what it's like coming to terms with what it meant to be a veteran and to serve in the military, and then now understand the principles of anarchy and freedom. And so if you need to talk to people, if you need support, we can definitely hook you up with people that have and are where you're at with that. Okay. Decompiler over on Odyssey says, what is the threat for not leaving Mexico? Jeff makes it seem like that everyone just ignores authority there.
You can't do that, though. What is happening in Mexico at this moment is they're starting to give deadlines for when you can get your temporary residency, like your 4-year temporary residency, in which case then you can sign up for your permanent and then eventually your national. I actually just had a few friends that got caught on a bus and their visas were expired, and they're in a detention center right now, like awaiting whether or not they're going to be deported. So it's not something that you can just do here. Like, you want to go about it a legal way, and even the legal way is pretty simple. You just have to find the right people to kind of help you walk through that process. I think ultimately you do want to be here legally, but I know somebody who can, help with that process.
Have something to say about that realistically, because everybody knows that I'm here legally, and I mean, I do have the novelty of, I have the novelty of it, but it's like, life is just harder, I'm not able to access so many different parts of like the regular world, including travel currently. I'm afraid to leave my city after hearing about that, friend. So it's like, and Mexico's getting more tight. Like, I do know one other person, David Robinson, he was deported. traveling as an illegal in Mexico, just getting on buses and going is not safe. To anybody listening, if you're just like overstayed visa and hopping around city to city, you're lucky you haven't been deported yet, because that's where they get you. That or protest. Do not get involved in Mexican politics as a foreigner unless you have, residency, like permanent residency, because they'll just deport you for it.
Even permanent residency, I've heard, unless you're a national, they can still kick you out. So you got to be careful with the politics as well. I mean, just Mexican politics.
Don't be involved in Mexican politics. Just keep your distance. And it's kind of, like Mexicans are really big on the protests, and like, it can be inspiring, but like resist, and also resist the urge to go out and like protest the mask stuff in public, because that's getting involved, like choose which hill to die on.
Travis, I dropped a link in chat for you to a website that'll give you information for joining our Discord server if you'd like to talk to veterans about that stuff. I don't feel like I'm qualified to have that conversation with vets, so I like to hook you guys up with each other, because I don't know, it kind of feels like you speak each other's language more than I do. Okay, well, Voluntary Dan on Odyssey says, but we need to change the Mexican government from the inside. Oh man, what's up, Alex?
Not worth it. Not worth it.
No one should be involved in politics, says Travis. All right, guys. Well, I mean, we're kind of at the end of our list. I haven't seen any new questions. So, Catherine, is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
No. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm really excited. What about you, Macy?
Are you coming in person, Patrick?
I think I'm doing live streaming stuff again this year, and to do that, I have to be here in my studio. You can't see this, but I'm surrounded by servers and equipment to make this possible. So I can't really travel with that. So if I'm doing live streaming stuff this year, it has to be here. Otherwise, I'll try and make it there for sure.
Patrick, I just want to say thank you for helping us with this. Nobody here other than you was qualified to make this possible today. And we're just showing up and participating, but you've really, really helped us. And I want to say thank you. And Lily for getting the graphics together, and Ariel for all your help with writing and getting the word out and helping us keep our head on straight. And man, you guys, Macy's been working her tail off. It's been really fun to be here and to watch her in action and to see what's happening. And getting this many speakers together for an event is really hard. And it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of dialoguing, it's a lot of vetting. It's taking a lot of time to make sure that the people we are putting on the stage actually get it and are in alignment, and the whole package, right? We're looking for the whole package. We're not working with people who maybe talk the talk on the front end, but don't walk the walk on the back end. And that includes the way we treat one another, right? Like, we don't care how powerful of an activist you are in your community. If you are not kind to your community behind closed doors, that's not the vibe we have going. So this has been a really, really special group that we've put together. And last year was super high vibe and just really, really awesome. And I'm hoping that this year is going to be even better. And right now, we really do. I feel like we have the dream team working together, but we need more help. We have more stuff to do. So if you are a kind, loving go-getter and you want to work with us, send an email to producer at Anarchapulco, introduce yourself. Let me know what you got going on, how you want to be involved, because, it takes a village, really. We need help, we need support, and you're looking at the crew doing it all right now. So thank you guys for being here and for supporting us, because it's a labor of love, for sure.
Awesome. Any, I don't want to say last words. Ariel, do you have anything to say? Ariel. I'm doing it again. My Texan kicks in and I mess up her name.
Country hick.
Ariel.
It's okay. It's Ariel. Yeah.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. I mean, I guess. That's part of the last word.
Texas.
Yeah, no, this year's this year's gonna be awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited about future episodes. We're gonna like have some pretty juicy topics coming up, so I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Lily?
Stay tuned. Things are going to get interesting, both like with the world itself and with the conference. I'm excited for what we've been building.
All right, Macy?
Oh, if anybody knows any like comedians, like anarchist comedians, can you guys email me at coproducer@anarchapulco.com, because we're looking to put on a comedy show. And I could use some recommendations for that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave it there. Guys, make sure to follow along for future episodes of the CIA. And I think do we have any idea what our next show is going to be?
In 2 weeks, and I don't think we've picked a topic yet. But we will definitely take suggestions and maybe make a decision on our call on Monday. We have a team call. Wait, today's Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow. We'll decide tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the comments. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace, love, and anarchy.
Are we like the most awkward crew in the world? Like, we're so cool at our